This JTV News Update is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Digicel BVI, Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pier Park, Simply Secure, Gumptions Land and Sea Tours, Nagico Insurances, and Envy Styles, Nail Salon, Spa, and Barbershop.
Let me tell you a secret. When you came to this world, you were already in love, made from love, and born to love. So when you break code, you tell the God within and this great universe that you have forgotten who you are, a star who came to this world already in love, made from love, and born to love. And every time you choose love, you choose yourself. So choose love every time.
Stop.
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 Think
Before you act.
before you act.
Think before you act.
It is projected that the government of the Virgin Islands will ultimately save some $1.6 million, succeeding with their first loan arrangement with the Republic Bank BVI, while ending a previous loan arrangement with Banco Popular that funded the construction of the new People's Hospital, subsequently renamed the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital.
Mr. Speaker, on 2nd October 2009, the government of the Virgin Islands signed a loan agreement for $45 million with Banco Popular for the construction of the People's Hospital project. Mr. Speaker, in a legal review undertaken in September 2018, it was opined that the terms and conditions under the agreement were unnecessarily restrictive and onerous given that the BVI is a sovereign borrower. Mr. Speaker, the balance on this loan, which would mature in 2026 as of 30th April 2021, was $17,250,000, and it had a variable interest rate comprising U.S. prime rate, currently 3.25%, plus a margin of 0.75%, currently totaling 4.00%. Mr. Speaker, in the analysis of government's debt profile, central government and guaranteed, even in this environment of lower interest rates, this loan was among the government's most costly in terms of interest commitments. Mr. Speaker, the review recommended that early repayment or refinancing would remove the contractual requirement to maintain all government bank accounts with Banco Popular. This would enable the diversification of bank risking and render the ability to negotiate lower fees and potentially higher deposit interest rates with other financial institutions. Mr. Speaker, this action would also eliminate any concerns regarding the right of Banco Popular to consent to and/or exercise a right of first refusal in relation to any new financing which, if adhered to, restricts competitive borrowing and risk increasing government's funding costs. Further, Mr. Speaker, it will also remove the restriction on government's ability to sell assets. Mr. Speaker, in light of the continued impact of the pandemic on our tourism industry and by extension, the prolonged negative implications for economy, your government is currently reviewing its debt strategy. And Mr. Speaker, if these concerns with the Banco loan were not addressed, this loan would negatively impact government's access to future affordable and sustainable loan financing. Mr. Speaker, the government made numerous attempts since 2018 to renegotiate the restrictive terms and conditions for this loan. And I must repeat, Mr. Speaker, numerous attempts in 2018. Mr. Speaker, after these negotiations were unsuccessful in eliminating the critical clauses as requested, the Ministry of Finance began the process of developing a strategy to repay or refinance this loan. Mr. Speaker, the strategy chosen was to pay off the balance of the loan on 31st May 2021, which was $17,250,000 US dollars, and accrued interest for the period of $57,000 and the accrued interest for the period in the amount of $57,750. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the amount of the repayment was $17,307,750. However, Mr. Speaker, to ensure the amount being repaid was replaced in short order, a restricted tender was arranged for a new 5-year loan facility for $17,250,000 to be signed and drawn after the repayment of the Banco Popular loan. Mr. Speaker, Republic Bank Limited emerged as a successful bidder for this new loan facility. Mr. Speaker, I would like members to note that there is no increase in central government's debt stock, as this new loan would only be replacing the recently settled loan with Banco Popular. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, the value of the loan remains unchanged at $17,250,000 US, but at a fixed interest rate of 1.51% offered by Republic Bank compared to 4.00% floating interest rate of the recently paid off Banco loan. Mr. Speaker, with this interest rate, the government would realize savings to the tune of $1.5 million over the period June 2021 to June 2026. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the substantial interest savings just mentioned, the government will be saving an additional $100,000 in annual fees normally paid on the Banco loan. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, over the period from June 2021 to June 2026, acquisition of this new loan arrangement will save the government about $1.6 million. Again, I repeat, Mr. Speaker, doing this now will save the government $1.6 million US. Mr. Speaker, going hand in hand with this much needed savings, the reduced interest cost means a decrease in the government's debt service cost, which translates to a reduction in our forecasted debt service ratio under the protocols for effective financial management. Mr. Speaker, Republic Bank have also taken the government's suggestion to add a moratorium option so that we can postpone loan payments for 6 months in the event of catastrophic events, such as natural disasters and economic shocks. Mr. Speaker, I cannot overstate how helpful this additional flexibility would be for our government as we continue to navigate this uncertain and ever-changing economic environment. Mr. Speaker, this is our first loan with Republic Bank, and I'm extremely pleased to be entering into such a favorable agreement with this institution. Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank the bank for extending such favorable terms and conditions to the government, which is extremely helpful in this challenging economic time. My government looks forward to an excellent working relationship with Ms. Blyden and her team. Mr. Speaker, successful negotiations for this loan would not have been possible without the hard work, commitment, and dedication of the staff at the Ministry of Finance and our UK debt advisor, Mr. Alex Musson, who guided the successful negotiations with Republic Bank. Mr. Speaker, I also must say that we do thank the Banco Popular for the time that we are doing business with them in this respect, because we still do business with them in other respect.
The ayes carried during the sitting of the House of Assembly, which went into the late night hours of yesterday, June 17, 2021, when the legislative motion was tabled by Premier and the Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, and seconded by his deputy, Dr. the Honorable Natalio Sawande Withley. With this JTV News Update, Kathy Richards.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Stop.
Stop. Stop. Think.
Think
Before you act.
before you act.
Think before you act.
Our reliance on digital systems has opened new vulnerabilities to sophisticated cyber attacks. Simply Secure's security management solution helps overcome these challenges. Our service includes 24/7, 360-degree protection for all computers and servers with automatic restoration, security audits, and penetration testing. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Contact us at info@simplysecuregroup.com.